Hey guys, this is CPM 2. This is your Module 1 review. Even though this says it's a test and it's the practice, that's what we mean by review. And so since this is our first review, I'm going to go ahead and read this right here. It says, this is a practice test and not the actual test. We have attempted to give you questions that could be on the test. This is a sample of questions from the homework. However, all the questions on the test come directly from your homework. So if you want to see the questions that are on your test, rework all your problems. So then the instructions for this review says to show all work on this paper in a neat and orderly manner. Use a pencil so that you may erase any mistakes and circle your final answer. When you complete the test, look over the test carefully and see if you have any errors you need to correct. Good luck. So that's the instructions you're going to see on your test. But this is going to start off with some vocab and definitions. So number one, a number's distance from 0 on the number line is the number's, this is absolute value. Okay, so right here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of doing this, I'm just going to highlight your answers. Okay, so this first one is the absolute value. And 3 to the 6th power equals 729. The 3 is called your base. Okay, base is the first one. And 6 is called the exponent. So that's your first and second answer, base then exponent. The sign means, first one is less than. Use that as an arrow. It is pointing. It's pointing to the left. So that means less than, since it's pointing to where all those negative numbers would be. And the sign means greater than for your second blank, because it is pointing towards all of those positive numbers. The product of two positive numbers is positive. So product here means multiply. And so, for example, if you have something like 3 times 4, that's going to give you a positive 12. The product of two negative numbers is also positive. So, for example, on this one, if you have something like negative 3 times a negative 4, that is still positive 12. So when you're multiplying, two positives become positive, two negatives become negative. Because their signs are the same, it's positive. Number 6, the product of a negative number and a positive number is negative. So for example, in that one, it states okay, it states a negative number, then a positive, so I'll go with that one first. So that's like negative 3 times 4. That's going to give you a negative 12. Or even if they flip that and they do a positive 3 times negative 4, that is still negative 12. So if your signs are different, if they're opposite, it's a negative. And then the last one on this page, the sum of two negative numbers is negative. So this is different than your multiplication. When you multiply two negatives, you get positive. But when you add two negatives, you get negative. So for example, if you have something like negative 3 plus a negative 4, you're going to get a negative 7. So you've got to memorize these integer rules because they're very close to each other and they're different, and you've got to know them. Okay, so that's all the vocab on, oh no, I didn't think it was. The sum of two positive numbers is positive. Okay, so for example, 3 plus 4 That's going to equal a positive 7. And the product of a number and 0 is 0. So for example, on that one, you have some number like 3 times 0. 0 times anything is 0. All right, so now we got some skill and drill. So these are the questions you're going to see on your test. According to the order of operations, which operation should you perform first in the following set of operations? So that is your please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You first got to look for parentheses, and we have parentheses here. So in this one, it doesn't want us to solve. It just simply wants what's the first step. We would use these parentheses here. 11, write an exponential notation. So your base is 7, and you only have one 7. So you can either do 7 to the first power, or more properly, it's just 7. And then times, now we have 2 4s. So your base is 4, and you've got 2 of them, so 4 squared. Okay, so that's your answer on this one. Let me circle final answers. Number 12, evaluate. So expand this out. You're almost doing this problem right here opposite. You're starting here, and we need to put it here. So that means we've got 3 times, and then I've got 2 cubed, which means I have 3 2's. So that means you got 2 times 2 times 2. So now just multiply. So if I start here, 3 times 2 is 6. Bring everything else down. 6 times 2 is 12. Bring everything else down, which is that times 2. And 12 times 2 is 24. 13, simplify. So use your order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we don't have any parentheses. I don't have any exponents. So we're at this multiply and divide. Remember with that multiply and divide, it does not always mean multiply first, then divide second. It means you're multiplying in order from left to right. So as I'm going here from left to right, we've got division first. So I'm dividing first on this one. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Bring everything else down. We have it used. So now I still have multiplication. So we're going to multiply here. 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 plus 2 gives me 18. Okay, on 14, simplify, same thing. Basically, you need to simplify the top and then simplify the bottom, and then you can put everything together. So 18 plus 6 gives me 24 over. This one right here is 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. This one here is 2 times 2, which is 4. So I've got 8 minus 4. So you can't let the top mingle with the bottom yet until you've simplified both of them. The top is simplified, so I'm just going to bring that one over. But I have to simplify this 8 minus 4, so 8 minus 4 is 4, and now I can divide. So 24 divided by 4 is 6. Simplify. If the problem is undefined, write undefined. So right here from the bat, when you do your order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We're starting right here with divide on part A. But when I divide, this is undefined. It is undefined because 0 cannot be in the bottom. cannot divide by 0. Okay, on B, simplify the top before we can divide it with the bottom. So on the top, we need to multiply and divide, and then I can subtract. So we get 12 minus 4 times 3 is 12. Keep going. 12 minus 12 is 0. So I've got 0 divided by 6. This is 0. It is okay for 0 to be on top. It just can't be on the bottom. Okay, and that's the difference there. Number 16, evaluate the expression for x equals 3 and z equals 4. So we've got 4 times, my x is going to go here, my z is going to go here, minus 3 times x. So plug in your numbers. We have x is 3, so where I see an x here and here, I'm putting in a 3. And then my z is 4, so where I see this z, I'm putting in a 4. So now simplify. You've got 3 times 4, which is 12. And 12 times 4 is 48, minus 3 times 3 is 9. And so then when you subtract 48 minus 9 is going to give me 39. Insert your less than or greater than in between the integers to make a true statement. So remember to kind of turn these into Pac-Mans, and the Pac-Mans want to eat the bigger number. So what number is bigger, 0 or negative 10? That's going to be 0. So 0 is greater than negative 10 is how that reads. B, which one is greater, negative 1 or 5? Anything that's positive is going to be bigger over negative. So this needs to eat the 5, and so that reads negative 1 is less than 5. 18, we need to simplify. So the absolute value of anything is a positive, so absolute value of positive 15 is 15. On B, the absolute value of negative 12 is 12, but then this negative from the outside's got to come down with it. So this one's a negative 12. 19, we're adding. This is the same sign. So when it's the same sign, you add and keep the sign. So 8 plus 7 is 15, and then keep the sign. It's negative, so that's a negative 15. This one is different signs. When they are different, you are going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. So 7 minus 8 is 1. 8 is the bigger number, and it's negative, so my answer is negative. On 20, we're subtracting. When you subtract, you need to use your keep, change, flip. So keep this first number, negative 17, change the subtraction to addition, and flip the sign of the second one. So this negative 15 now becomes positive 15. Now follow your addition rules. So now I've got different signs. So we're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger. So 17 minus 15 is 2. And then my bigger number is the 17, so it's going to stay negative. Same thing on B. Keep, change, flip. So keep this 2, change subtraction to addition, and change this positive 18 to a negative 18. So use your addition rules again. And it's going to be the same one. We've got different signs, one positive, one negative. So subtract. 18 minus 2 is 16. And keep the sign of the bigger number. There's my bigger number. So 16. Okay, multiply. When you're multiplying and you have the same signs, that's always going to be positive. So negative 6 times negative 5 is going to be a positive 30. 6 times 5 is 30. 2 negatives make a positive. When you're multiplying or dividing, actually these are both for multiplying and dividing. They've got different signs. It's going to be negative. So negative 8 times 3. Well, 8 times 3 is 24. And then, since they're different signs, it's negative. Applications, number 22, which lake has the highest elevation? So you're just, can you read a map? Because I want to know the highest, I want to know which one is up the furthest. So my biggest number is 644, and so Lake A. And then 23, what is the perimeter and area of the following figure? So perimeter, you just need to add all sides. So my perimeter here is 11, this one, plus 5, plus, because this is a rectangle, this is also 11. Got that one, and then this one is also 5. So then just add. 11 plus 5 is 16. 11 plus 5 is 16. So that means my perimeter, 16 plus 16 is 32. You've got to have units with this. So it's not just 32, it's 32 meters. And then define area. Area is just length times width. Really doesn't matter which one you call your length and which one you call your width. You're going to get the same answer no matter what, but your length is 11 times your width, which is 5. So my area is 11 times 5, which is 55. You need units. So because this is area, it's units squared. So in this case, meters squared. All right, that's your entire review. We will go over this in class together, but if you have any questions, please let me know. Test is coming up.